During the week, Liz, you practiced your first piece because I wasn't here during the week.
Yes.
When we were together, I was able to be the other person playing with you, right? And I left behind this wonderful disc that gives you little accompaniments to your playing. And you rehearsed those this week. And there were 2 times that they played each one, is that right? They played each piece twice, which is very nice. And how many beats, do you remember the word beats, were there before you started the first one? That would be takeoff?
4 plus 4.
That's right, 4 plus 4. So we're going to do is I actually want to hear you do it with the CD disc. Okay, so let's get ready. Okay, so we're going to start with take off, and we're using the disc right now. Good, and it's going to play again. Yeah, it goes faster than when you and I played. That was very nice because it's a pretty brisk tempo, so that's fine. This is a very brisk tempo. You know, brisk means what? It means quick.
Yeah.
Now, when you and I played it, we played it a little slower, but we still had the quarter note, the beats, but the beats were slower beats.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play it with you once more. Where you and I play, I'm going to play it slower, and I'm going to cue you to do this. To make a crescendo, this is a new word for you. To start softly, the next group a little louder, the third group still bigger, and the last group biggest. Does the beat change when you do that? No. And that way we could be more artistic about it, you know, more creative, so it doesn't sound like robotic, you know, like a robot.
Dum, 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 dum,
Right,
dum,
so I'm coming over now, and I'm going to play it with you. I'm going to count 4 plus 4 just like the disc, but we're going to go slower, and we're going to pay special attention to dynamics. That's a new word for you today. It means louder, softer, in between. So we're going to start soft, the next group a little bigger, the third group bigger, and finally what? Now, does biggest mean a big bangy sound, or?
No, it means like fuller. Louder.
Beautiful, fuller, right. So I think you can move over a slight bit to the right, slight bit. There you go. So naturally, when I say we start softer, do I have to start softer too? Would that make sense? Yeah, because what would happen if I played
And
big?
you'd be loud and you wouldn't hear me.
Yeah, the balance wouldn't be right. We want to get a nice balance. All right, so here we go. Let's get set up with your finger number 2. And you know what? When you hear me counting, you'll know I'm not going as fast as the disc. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bigger. Still bigger. Biggest. Now let me show you something about getting the bigger dynamics. We talked about the fact that your arm is going to feel heavier because that's where the funnel of energy comes. So if I start like this, look how light my arms look. See? Next one, deeper in the more, but it's right when you get, and the highest, mostly higher. Okay, let's try to do that. Really get your dead weight arms into it. Okay, let's do one more time. 1, 2, ready, and next one more, now still more. That was really good. Very, very nice. Good. Now I know you've practiced all these other pieces from last week.
Yeah.
You also did the staccato piece with me, right? The staccato piece was the very, the one bump, 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 the hen, the pecking hen. We'll refresh it now together because, you know, you just played legato, which means what? Connecting your fingers. You just did. So now we're going to do the opposite of connecting your fingers, which is very detached, crisp notes. Remember how I did this last week? I showed you because the pecking hen's beak was like, remember we have the wrist forward. Can you show me the wrist forward motion? Right. Do it with your whole arm now. Look at my arms actually giving me the energy to go forward. Look at my arm. See? Because if I just do this, this isn't going to do it. I need the energy from my whole arm. Have you ever taken a ball and thrown a ball? Like you see pictures? Look what the pictures do. I go all the way back and their whole arm goes forward. Right.
They can't just going like this.
Yeah, because this would not get the ball very far. Exactly. Okay. So can you show me those staccato notes? So they'll be like this. Yum, yum, yum. Can you do some all the way up from here? Middle C. Remember middle C from last week? Short. Short. Whole arm. Bum, 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 bum. Short. 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 Keep a steady beat. Bum, bum, bum. Short. Lean a little. Lean a little. Bum, 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 bum. Excellent. I like the way you really pinpointed each note. You knew exactly where you were going. So what do you have to do with your feet? Keep them very quiet. Okay, so now you and I are going to play this together. All right? And what I'd like you to do this time, though, is can you play it softly? Can you play it piano? Remember the word piano meant soft in music? Okay, I'm going to give you 4 plus 4. All right? 4 plus 4. Okay, get ready though. You have to get ready. You have to be over the note. See? Like this. You have to prepare. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, soft, play. The wrist go forward. That's better. Yeah, so you could see really have to use your arm going forward. Right. Very good. Okay, so that's a little review of what we did last time. I really want to go to something new today, which is these pieces. Now, when you see in a canoe, what looks different about in a canoe from these two pieces? If you look at these two pieces, what do you see that looks different in a canoe?
Well, first of all, that one is going down, and also, for some reason, they're those.
Yeah, there's a new note that we haven't seen before. It's a hollow note, right? A hollow circle with a stem, and that's a new note we're going to learn today. It's called a half note. Now, we know that the quarter notes, you actually knew what a quarter note was when we first started. I was amazed by your knowledge, and you knew that a quarter note gets 1 count. And remember on that CD disc, when they go faster, it's still a quarter note, but they have framed the piece with a faster beginning tempo. Yeah. Tempo means, oh, let's do this piece more quickly all the way through, but let's keep it steady, right? Whereas when you and I played, I said, no, I like to hear a slower quarter note. Were those all steady too? Were those quarter notes steady? Yes, they were. Okay, so in a canoe, you know, canoes float on the water, so they're going to float this piece. But what we have to learn about half note is it gets 2 counts. That means we hold a half note for 2 counts. So let me show you how we clap this. I'm going to clap this much, and then we're going to say the words. Let me clap it. So you follow this group. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. But what do I do with the half note? I didn't play it twice because I have to hold it for 2. Tap, hold. 1, 2. What? It's not tap twice. Long note. That's another thing. Long note. But you know the reason I don't like to say long note is because you're going to even learn longer notes. Yeah. And you'll get mixed up. So I think 1, 2 is good like this. 1, 2. All right? That's what we're going to do. Can you say the words for me and very steadily read the words for me like that there's a beat going through them? Okay. And crossing the lake in a canoe, paddling along, watching the view. You notice how how we stretched out those half notes with the word, like, otherwise we wouldn't have what? A half note. Nobody would know it was worth
It would just be
2 counts. Very good. Okay, now let's see. We're going to put our fingers exactly where we did before, but I'm going to have you use a different finger in each hand. I'm going to have you use, instead of 2 in each hand, I would like you to take finger number 3 in each hand. And right, you know what maybe we learned about that your whole hand has all the fingers available when you play piano, like you don't curl your fingers up, right? Okay. So let's set up our fingers. Notice that which hand starts, which 3 starts, which left or right?
left,
Right. And does this piece go up or down?
down. So
Very good.
that way.
Okay, so then we also know by the words and the title, because sometimes that tells us about the imagination, how we imagine we're going to play it. Will we play this like a march?
No, we won't play it.
No. Are we going to float the notes back and
Yes.
forth? Very good. Okay, I'm going to give you, now guess what? This is different than the other 2 because let's count how many total beats there are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that's going to be a different feeling of having groups of 5 beats in each group. You know, it's going to feel different than groups of 4. You'll see. You know how many counts I'm going to have to give you? 5 plus 5, not 4 plus 4, because each group has, well, how many? 5 beats. Okay, I'm going to play it, and can you count through it as I play it? All right. Can you give me the 5 plus 5? Can you give me that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2,
Steady.
3, 4, 5.
1, 1, 1, count 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2. So what do you have to remember? When you get to lake, that's going to be held for 2. When you get to canoe, it's going to be canoe, 2. Long, 2, and view, 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have to get used to 5, because you know what? You don't hear many songs in 5, but it's important to be able to play in 5 as well as 4. Okay, let's try it again. I'm going to give you 5 plus 5, all right? And I'm going to count through it for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2. Now I could count through 5, but we're not going to do counting through 5 because we really need to teach you what each note, how many counts each note gets for now. Later, it'll be different when you go into the staff like this, see? Okay, so now I'm going to do the duet part with you. Okay, so you're starting here with finger number 3 in your left, finger number 3 in your right. I'm giving you 2 groups of 5 counts. All right. And, you know, we have to decide, I have an idea. Can we play this a little softer, like we're going along very, very gentle waters? It's not like they're big waves in the ocean. So we want to float the canoe a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2. Wow, that was gorgeous. Wasn't that fun? That was so beautiful. Very nice.